What's this? A reboot? And a sequel to a reboot? Stamp on my head, I want to die! There are more sequels and reboots coming our way. It's only a matter of time till every classic film has been rejigged and regurgitated back at us. Just leave my precious Withnail and I alone, or else I'm firebombing Hollywood. This is probably a good time to talk about the Jurassic Park /World franchise, and my bitter, cynical take on it all. I rather like the original Jurassic Park, and the sequels were, alright, I suppose. They always came up with contrived reasons for revisiting the Dino fuck-up islands, but the first one I enjoyed quite a bit. It was a classic 90s film about dinosaurs and people playing God. Now, when you think Jurassic Park, you immediately think of dinosaurs, but that's a very surface-level take on the film. At its core, the film has deeper themes of nature fighting back against humanity, the perils of technology, and also the virtue of family values. I reckon if you got rid of the dinosaurs and filled the park with killer monkeys, aliens, or sentient dildos running amok, the film would still be good if it contained the same themes and memorable characters. Therein lies the problem with the Jurassic World movies, because it just takes the surface-level interpretation of the original and recycles it into a hybrid of old, new, and action-packed. Now it's all dinosaurs and explosions! Dinosaur, explosion! Dinosaur, explosion! Here's a dinosaur, it explodes! Here's some fun trivia for you. Do you know how many explosions there are in the original Jurassic Park? Fuck all! It didn't need them. It captivated us with edge-of-your-seat tension, strong themes, and animatronics that still hold up today. The new Jurassic Park films offer dinosaurs and Chris Pratt. That's it, really. I say Jurassic Park films. They are now rebranded as the new Jurassic World films. So, my dear viewers, I shall be smack-talking those. That's right, you're getting a 2-for-1 review thingy. Aren't I nice? Jurassic World rebooted the franchise by having the park reopen, and the nefarious InGen company forgiven for fucking up the park last time, letting people get killed in horrible ways, and for installing shoddy locks on the toilets. But InGen has been bought up by some rich Bollywood star, Mr. Basmati or whatever, and it's business as usual. I know that John Hammond wanted dinosaurs to be left alone, but fuck his memory, let's desecrate his corpse by making the same old mistakes and some new ones. The park gets rebooted back up, and we see it reimagined for the modern age, complete with holograms and a fucking Starbucks. The two kids from Jurassic Park have been rebooted into two boring brothers who are visiting the park run by their milfy aunt, but are also dealing with the absolutely riveting subplot of our parents are getting a divorce. Never mind, there's fine as wine Bryce Dallas Howard, who doesn't do much but get flustered and sweaty and make my trousers feel 2 sizes too small. Hey, I'm only human. Have you seen the faces she pulls? But she only pulls those faces for Chris Pratt, with their awkward relationship that makes you scream, just fuck already! Chris Pratt plays, well, Chris Pratt. Quirky and quippy like when he played Star-Lord, Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec, and a Lego man. He plays Dino Dr. Dolittle, who has an affinity for handling raptors, and this is where the film franchise is let down. The once scary and formidable raptors have been neutered. Now they're all cuddly-wuddly pets with fee-fees and no balls. Yes, pedantic film fans, I know the raptors literally have no balls. They're all engineered to be female. I mean, they have no tenacity or threat to them anymore, especially in Fallen Kingdom. In Jurassic Park, dinosaurs are supposed to be an untamable and uncontrollable force of nature. They're not Lassie the Wonder Dog. To counter this, the franchise just makes up new hybrid monster dinosaurs because they can, and they need a new antagonist because even the scary T-Rexes are a force for good. With genetically meddling Santa Claus Hammond dead and gone, InGen is taking cues from the Umbrella Corp and Weyland-Yutani Evil Corporation Handbook. As well as futuristic family-friendly petting zoos, they are weaponizing dinosaurs and making genetically engineered monster dinos for military applications. Weaponized dinosaurs makes no bloody sense. By this logic, why not use tigers or chimps? At least if you weaponize emus, you can piss off the Australians. The big bad that got cooked up is the Indominus Rex, a mishmash of genes to make a formidable albino T-Rex, but with actual masturbating hands. It has cloaking powers and can pacify raptors with a stare down. It also has super senses, strength, intelligence, and endurance. It's been designed by Dr. Henry Wu from the first Jurassic Park film, played by B.D. Wong. He's now the head of genetic research and is evil? I thought he was some lowly technician in the first film. Didn't know he had grand ambitions to be a morally bankrupt gene-splicing Frankenstein, but I guess he was the only person from the old films that could get on board the HMS Callback. Also, he was clearly gay for John Hammond in the first movie. Look at the body language and eye contact. Hammond, you old fruit. I know a rice queen when I see one. Well, Wong has a thing for chubby bears now, and is in cahoots with a shady military guy. They're cooking up military assets to help InGen's financial future. Developing weapons on the same island that has a tourist attraction is a huge liability. It's like having Area 51 next to Disneyland. What if some snap-happy tourists stray away from the tour group and see shady types training raptors to hunt? Could cause international outrage, although the superpowers would laugh at the West for making dino weapons. In Fallen Kingdom, it's established that InGen is capable of setting up other laboratories. Why set one up and make military assets next to a theme park? And of course, it's a catalyst for everything going to pot. Quite the oversight. When the monster dino gets loose, the shit hits the fan and the plot goes doolally. The Indominus has a wee killing spree, and then everyone goes, oh fuck, we better do our jobs and sort this mess. Meanwhile, the side plot brothers explore the park in its ultra-violent glory, and one of the brothers is an incorrigible poonhound that's always staring at girls. Remember, it's not creepy if you're good-looking. All the while, a monster is on the prowl, unbeknownst to them, as they travel around in a blue bollock-mobile and are forced to watch Jimmy Fallon. Getting eaten alive is looking pretty good right about now, huh? Sure enough, they go off the beaten path, and the Indominus really hates blue balls, so it attacks them. This scene tries to invoke the nostalgia of the T-Rex attack on the Jeep from Jurassic Park, but it's broad daylight, which takes away the fear factor, and the kids have to react to a CGI monster instead of a big fuck-off practical effects dinosaur with state-of-the-art animatronics. The kids don't even act that scared. Call that a scream? That's a scream, you little pisser. Bryce realizes she isn't looking after her nephews very well, and the British nanny she assigned is shite. So her and Pratt go scouting for her nephews and bond over a wounded wrinkly dick neck dinosaur in a scene slightly reminiscent of the Triceratops scene from Jurassic Park. Bloody reboots and reusing set pieces. The scene is needed because they have to show Bryce having empathy for the dinosaurs, because up until this point she comes off as a cold, unlikable character. Until now, she has been a strict workaholic for an evil corporation, neglectful to her nephews and her equally milfy sister, who is having family troubles. She's abrasive to her ex-boyfriend and treats her employees with utter contempt.
Clean up your workspace. It's chaotic.
Stroke.
Where did you get that?
Oh, this? I got it on eBay for 300.
Didn't occur to you maybe that's in poor taste?
That's
okay,
kind of enough.
Please don't wear it again.
Yeah, wasn't gonna.
Hold on, Mr. Spineless. Don't take that shit from her. You should retort by saying, poor taste? Don't you think it's poor taste to build a park on the remains of the old one where people were killed horribly? We couldn't move to another island. No, we had to set up a Starbucks on the bodies of former colleagues. And by the way, this t-shirt design is only slightly graphically different to the logo we use now. We sell t-shirts like these in the gift shop. You know, the gift shop of the park that disrespects life and death itself, you stupid twat! But please, Mommy Bryce, step on my balls. Nevertheless, she gets her twee moment to show she's human, and she wants to nobly save her nephews. The writers must have followed this fucking book to a T. It's all for naught, though. The brothers can take care of themselves and hide out in the remnants of the old park where they symbolically burn the banner from it. Let's not forget to throw in those fucking callbacks with pandering props. They fix up a decades-old car and drive off to safety, while Pratt and Bryce nearly get turned into lunch. Those little shits! With chaos reigning supreme, Mr. Masala takes to the skies, and then the ground, to give the audience a fiery death firework. Also, it riles up these flying fuckers that go on to attack the tourists. It's utter mayhem, and... freeze? Enhance. Watch this extra. The fuck, lady, what are you doing? Run around like everyone else. You stupid extra, you've completely ruined the realism. I can't enjoy this film at all now. You bitch. Also, the nanny gets killed off in a really over-the-top sequence. I mean, that's a bit overkill there, Mr. Director. She wasn't really that bad a person. Director Colin Trevorrow, did something awful happen in your past with a nanny? During the birdemic, Bryce turns a pterodactyl into a pincushion, which makes Chris Pratt really horny, and everyone reunites awkwardly. With Mr. Biryani with Rice dead and gone, evil military guy sends in the operators to operate operationally. They come up with the ingenious plan to fight the monster Rex with raptors. Hey, you know what else works really well and is cheaper for killing shit in a jungle? Napalm! Fucking napalm! Predictably, the plan goes tits up, but at least the raptors start being threatening again. The movie is starting to get good, but I still can't get over that extra. Ruined this film for me. He has to run around a bit and then stop to stare at ordinary animals like they're the fucking novelty, not the reanimated dinosaurs. Then the bad guy appears and starts his bad guy talk for about 5 seconds until a raptor pops him like a ketchup balloon. Then the cast get cornered by raptors, just like in Jurassic Park. Fuck's sake. Luckily, Pratt uses his raptor empathy powers and causes a big computer-generated dinosaur fight with the Indominus and his butt buddy, Blue, the friendly raptor. Then Sweaty Betty has a brain fart and decides to release a T-Rex that just happens to be within walking distance of the battle. Using a flare, she hopes to coax the behemoth into a monster fight, and it works. Whereas in Jurassic Park, running with a flare didn't work out too well for Jeff Goldblum, and he wasn't even wearing high heels. The consistency is not a strong point in this movie. So begins an epic Godzilla-style monster fight as the T-Rex and Blue tag-fuck the Indominus Rex. Coincidentally, the fight is taking place near the sea monster pit, and conveniently, the hungry mosasaur decides to pop up to finish off the hybrid. Why the incompetent Rex didn't use its chameleon cloaking powers more than once, I do not know. The film ends with the dinosaurs buggering off. The remains of Jurassic World has a small island population of traumatized guests just ready to sue, plus our heroes Chris and Bryce are out of a job. And they all lived happily ever after. Jurassic World was simply a reboot of Jurassic Park made for nostalgia and product placement. The things that made the original films great had been reworked in ways that just dull the franchise. But it didn't stop there. We got sloppy seconds with Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. The film starts with the remnants of InGen up to no good, doing some sort of secret operation to acquire dinosaur DNA. Specifically, the remains of the Indominus. They need the material to make new dinosaurs because a massive lawsuit against the Jurassic World theme park has crippled InGen, and it's revealed 3 years later the island has an active volcano, ready to make the dinosaurs extinct. Again, stuttering fucker Jeff Goldblum makes an appearance to get us all nostalgic. He's lecturing some guys in suits about how Dinosaur Island going kablooey is A-OK and to not interfere. As a chaos theorist, he's secretly loving all this chaos. I bet he's rubbing one out under the table and being smug about it all like he's the fucking prophet of Ares. Jeff, you were just dragged out for a paycheck and to get the nostalgic fans in, you sellout whore. The best thing Ron Howard ever made is back. No longer as a career woman, but as a conservationist concerned about Jurassic World and has allied herself with hipster hippies. She gets saddled with a passive-aggressive eco-warrior and a screaming nerd who's about as much use as tits on a nun. I don't understand why Bryce would want anything to do with Jurassic World. She was a headstrong career woman who had her career ruined by the park going into meltdown. Not to mention, the dinosaurs almost ate her nephews. Plus, all those guests that sued the park probably put a black mark on her name for future employment. And to top it all off, your ex is more interested in fucking one of the raptors instead of you. If anyone should be trying to save the dinos, it's Chris, because he has an affinity with them and cares for them a great deal. He should be the one fighting to save them, that makes more sense. But the writing will only get worse from here on out. Bryce gets a call from a benefactor who's eager to help her rescue the dinosaurs from the ultimate game of The Floor is Lava, and he also wants the last remaining raptor for clearly evil intentions. Bryce is needed because she can access the tracking system and knows the park. So does this guy. This woman, could have called them. Whatever. But they also need Bryce to use her feminine wiles to get good old Pratt back. If Jurassic World is a soft reboot of Jurassic Park, then Fallen Kingdom is a soft reboot of The Lost World, as it reuses some of its plot points. In Lost World, some InGen dick in a suit is trying to usurp a dying John Hammond's empire. In Fallen Kingdom, it's a different dick in a suit, usurping John Hammond's empire through his dying wheelchair-bound business partner. Like in Lost World, the protagonist gets roped into going back to Dino Island, and their love interest is also thrown into the mix. They go to the island, but InGen is up to no good. There are fights and escapades, but InGen captures some dinosaurs and takes them back to the mainland, only for the dinosaurs to escape and wreak havoc. And the suited dick gets eaten by a T-Rex. Just change up a few details and slap on the usual conservationist themes, and you got a generic movie. Ah well, at least it's better than the rumoured first Jurassic World scripts with dinosaurs spliced with humans to make super soldiers. That'll probably be Jurassic World 3, to be fair. Bryce meets up with Pratt for a drink, which is more than I got off her. I just got a restraining order. Bryce appeals to Pratt's emotions by mentioning one of his raptor pets, Blue, is still alive. The film ham-fists a deeper relationship than what they actually had in Jurassic World. Blue was just as much a misbehaving shit as all the other raptors. But apparently, he loves her. He wants to kiss her. Explains why Bryce and Pratt didn't hook up after 3 years. So, with the gang assembled, they go on a mission to rescue dinosaurs with Buffalo Bill and his mercs. Bryce is needed to activate the old tracking system to find Blue, and Pratt is there to find Blue and calm her down. All they really needed is Bryce, but you got to have Chrissy boy because teenage girls get squirmy over him. But Chris is actually quite redundant, as the mercs are very capable. Well, I say capable. The mercs apprehend Blue by shooting her with a pistol, and they try to kill off Chris Pratt by shooting him with a tranquilizer dart. What the fuck? Is it opposite day or amateur hour? Who fucking knows? Surprise, surprise, the mercs working for the evil company betrayed the team within the first 10 minutes of them arriving on the island. Pacing be damned! We need that volcano going off so we can cram in lots of action and dinosaurs. It all just becomes a visually cluttered mess. I would have liked more time on the island, have the team exploring abandoned gift shops and letting us soak up the atmosphere. It all feels rushed, and the island quickly goes up in a cloud of ones and zeros. Dinosaurs everywhere, loads, a clusterfuck of dinosaurs trying to eat everyone with enough time to capture dinosaurs, get chased by dinosaurs, and be saved by a dinosaur because T-Rexes are quite the humanitarians, apparently. At least eat this screeching prick. After nearly drowning in a hamster ball, and after Bryce gets wet, dirty girl, the gang managed to escape the island on the mercenary boat heading to a mansion. Also, the film tries to pull at the heartstrings by showing this dopey fucker getting melted. Fans got teary-eyed over this, but not me, because my heart is made of pure onyx. Fuck you and stay dead for good this time. It is on the boat that more forced relationship crap with Blue takes center stage, and they try and heal the scaly shit with a blood transfusion from a T-Rex. That makes no sense. Cross-species blood transfusions do not work. That is a good way to get dinosaur AIDS. We don't give humans blood transfusions from chimps. That would kill us. But the film fucks logic in its tight holes to give the T-Rex more screen time, even if it is as a glorified blood bag. With Dick in a suit finally getting his beloved Blue and a load of dinosaurs, he puts his devilish plans into motion and indulges in a bit of geriatricide as icing on the cake. There's also this little kid that wanders around the mansion being a nuisance and setting off exposition. It's revealed this little girl is actually a clone of a dead person, but this revelation has no real bearing on the plot whatsoever. It's just a twist for the sake of twists. Oh, and Mr. Wong makes an appearance for a bit. Still, a paycheck's a paycheck, and cross-dressing in Mr. Robot doesn't pay the bills as well. The gang don't really have a sound plan to deal with all these mercs, and consequently, the hipsters bumble about in the background while Firebush and Star-Lord get captured and put in the mansion's grotty pound-me-in-the-arse jail cell. Fortunately, they escape using a head-butting dinosaur that was conveniently in the next cell to them. They break out and meet up with the British brat just in time for a bunch of aristocrats to show up for what looks like an eyes-wide-shut party. But actually, it's an illegal auction where dinosaurs are getting pimped to rich businessmen for their sordid needs. We are then treated to the most underwhelming auction for dinosaurs ever. Some of these behemoths go for a mere 10 million freedom bucks. Butter my arse! Talk about undervalued. If that's the going rate for extinct prehistoric creatures, then I'll have a bag of these little fuckers for $5. I've got some neighbors I want to annoy. But the hot auction item is a new hybrid antagonist called the Indoraptor. It's been genetically engineered to be a top-of-the-line apex sexual predator or something. It's just a black raptor with a love of Marilyn Manson, but it's supposed to be cutting-edge military hardware. It takes commands by laser pointer, so it's only slightly more intelligent than your fucking cat. The Indoraptor is a great weapon, as you point a laser at a target you want killed, and it runs off and kills it. If only there was some kind of weapon you could point at your enemy and with a switch or trigger make them go away. But no, I suppose weaponized dinosaurs make sense. The auction goes to pot as Pratt unleashes this dinosaur on the Aristos, who get comically head-butted to death. That man's paralyzed from the waist down. Then Buffalo Bill gets a bad case of the stupids and unwittingly releases the Indoraptor, who seems to be a hybrid of dinosaur and Saturday morning cartoon villain. The third act of the movie might as well be a different movie altogether, as we switch from Lost World to dino horror slasher movie in a mansion. The cast run around the place like oxygen-deprived idiots, while the hipsters are trying to contain a chemical fire caused by Blue during a dino kung fu fight with armed guards. I could not care about you two at all. Choke on an avocado. It all builds up to a big showdown with the Indoraptor, and they corner the mutant with guns. But in this universe, guns do jack shit, and it's more effective to use a dinosaur to kill your adversary, which they do. I'm Blue Dabbity Dabbidi kills the hybrid, and then fucks off. The gang face a dilemma, as some dinosaurs are trapped in a gas chamber, and they weren't on Schindler's List. But lucky for them, Little Miss Clone Wars frees them, and unleashes horrors upon the world. A dozen or so dinosaurs escape the mansion, but they're all microchipped anyway, so it's no biggie. But apparently not. No! Jeff Goldblum needed a bigger royalty check, so he shows up at the end to drop sound bites used for the trailer and to monologue about how dinosaurs have been unleashed on the world, with a heavy implication that this is a setup for a sequel. Shameful. What a waste of a good IP. Fallen Kingdom tries to tackle the big ethical conundrum of genetic engineering, but fails to make a compelling argument because it's wrapped in a silly action movie. It also has an anti-capitalist and anti-military industrial complex message, but that's prevalent in a lot of modern movies these days, not exactly a fresh or novel notion. The film is mostly padded out with a lot of lazy writing and reusing stuff from the old movies, like the Deus Rex Machina. The shot of the T-Rex triumphantly roaring multiple times got old real quick. In fact, it was eye-rolling the first time I saw it. It was a really bad movie. So many things wrong with it. Badly written characters, terrible pacing, and an over-the-top operatic score that seems more befitting of Lord of the Rings than Jurassic Park. This was directed by J.A. Bayner, but you'd think it was Michael Bay. A nice franchise about dinosaur theme parks gone bad is just evolving further into shallow schlock.
Also, some of the dinosaurs don't have feathers, and they should.
Piss off, Andy! You can see why there was a sequel, though. These movies shit money, and China, well, they really like dinosaurs. Take note, Lucasfilm. If you want to win over the Chinese market, put some dinosaurs in the next Star Wars film. Who cares if it doesn't make sense? The franchise is a fucking mess right now. Might as well go all in. I don't know. It seems like another case of rebooting a franchise to capitalize on nostalgia, and it's working. It suffers the same problems a lot of reboots have. What's new in it isn't good, and what's good in it isn't new. The Jurassic World franchise needs better characters, plot, and pacing. Don't need constant action, don't need to humanize dinosaurs, just flesh out the story a bit more. You could argue, it's just a dumb movie. Have fun and turn your brain off. And I quite agree, except we're getting a lot of dumb spectacle blockbuster movies now. The industry is in overdrive with it, and if I have to turn my brain off anymore, I'm gonna resemble Terry Schiavo. What? Too soon? Or too late? Thank you. Fart down the phone for me, you slut.